Yeah, honestly, I was gonna say.
Then why didn't you?
I was gonna
Then
say,
why didn't you?
Because I didn't want to make you feel bad about your.
That's what the point of this show is. I'm about to make you feel bad on the next question.
Oh, Jesus. Here we go.
Hello and welcome to Is This Good? The show where we boldly, conclusively, and scientifically decide what things in this big wide world are good. I'm Matt Austin, and with me as always is passionate powerhouse Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi, JD. Thanks for coming. And in honor of Valentine's Day, we have two very special guests here to answer all your love life questions and sick, half-baked sexual thoughts you for some reason felt comfortable sending into me. One you already know is the pickleball-playing, badass bus-driving mother of two who produces The Great Beyond, and the other is a small-town farm girl who loves Dunkin' Donuts, designing video game avatars to look exactly like her, and producing podcasts. Luckily for our relationship, this podcast is not one of them. That's right, it's the V-Day Wags episode you've all been waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Rachel and Jill. Welcome to Is This Good?
Yay!
It's an honor.
Thanks for having me.
Right?
Oh.
It is an honor.
Thank you for being here. Rachel, obviously, you're old hat at this. You're on the mic every week in The Great Beyond, so this is nothing for you. I am concerned that yesterday Jill asked me, what should I be like on the podcast? I said, yourself?
What kind of energy am I bringing? And I decided on wacky. So.
Okay, great.
I can't wait.
Of course, I love that. I said, great. That's exactly what I wanted.
Also very excited to be in front of the paywall. It's only been the P-hounds who have been able to
That's right.
engage with me. So he's bringing me out of my cage. So
Well, hold on to that key.
Congratulations.
Hold on to that key.
yeah. Right.
Have you ever met Rachel before, Jill?
Yes, we were just talking that we played pickleball. Hello, played pickleball
Oh,
together. She was the first person I played pickleball with ever in my life.
Okay.
And I will say that I only just learned the rules of pickleball, like maybe in December when Matt taught them to me again.
You were great.
It's a work in progress.
And she loves it, and she can't wait to play again. Maybe we'll start here, because we did get a lot of questions sent in. Some from the P-Hounds, some from others. Some romance, love, lifestyle questions. But one question was sent in by Young Pep Dash. And it says, Matt and Jill, ignore this if you've told the story before, but how did you meet? So I know that we've not told this story before on the podcast, but as a good host, before we start talking about ourselves, I wanted to know, Rachel and JD, is there anything else in the how did you guys meet story that you want to tell us? Because we've talked about it on the show before. I can speed walk through like the basic parts that I know, that you were both working together at a fast casual restaurant. Mm-hmm. No, I would say it's above fast casual. Mm. And you would often go out and get drunk amongst the staff.
Sure.
And one night you drove Rachel home when she was drunk. That got her thinking, wow, this JD is a nice guy. And then I forget what happened from there. Rachel, did you ask JD out?
I don't think that's quite how it went. We were just, going to the same places with the same people, and you just make out, you know?
It was just
happens.
That's the 90s, man.
There's nothing like scheduled or planned or...
Okay, I like how you make the 90s sound like the summer of love or something. But okay, so if that's what you just did, if everyone was making out with everyone, how did you decide to stick with each other?
Well, we saw eye to eye on a number of things, I guess.
Gun rights, abortion, hot button issues.
All those things.
Well, I mean, I know people were asking about flirting, and I think part of what kept me interested was that he made fun of my shit. Like, he relentlessly made fun of my obsession with Jim Morrison. I'm like, okay. I like that you're not letting me get away with this shit.
Fucking low-hanging fruit, Matt. Low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. That's why in her sexual fantasies, JD's always naked walking through a desert. Wow, I did not know you were a Doors girly, as they definitely did not say in the 90s.
Morris head.
Yeah, I guess I've moved on.
So all the other guys were just trying too hard to be nice to you,
Yes.
to get you to sleep with them. And JD did the radical move of being sort of mean to you, negging, if you will, being on the vanguard of negging.
He roasted me, and
He
I
roasted
loved
you, and
it.
you loved it. Okay. Well, JD, then what attracted you to Rachel?
Well, she was super hot, A.
Was.
Yeah.
Sorry, she still is,
Fine.
obviously. Well, I mean, he was asking in the past tense, so I said then.
You know, it's fine. Do you know what your brother once said? I can't remember who was in the room. He's like, you should have seen Rachel when she was 20. She was so hot. So there you go.
Yeah, well, you were. And, you had a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
You had a good sense of humor. And, we got along. We laughed a lot. We watched our first movie together, one of the first was Tommy Boy, and we laughed at all exactly the same parts, and it was great. Just same sense of humor. And, we would have interesting conversations. So you could call it negging, but you could also say, I disagreed with her on the subject of the Doors, for example. So, and she was very much not used to hearing people say...
Well, boys saying that to me with this ass,
Oh,
Don't
she was
disagree.
She was too hot for anyone to challenge her.
That's right.
I mean, we're talking about a woman that, had she stayed in her small town, would have been unanimously voted Scallop Queen.
Yeah.
Yes. The Queen of Digby. Such a...
The Queen of Digby, Nova Scotia. That's how hot she was, okay? Are you not understanding this, people? Google.
It's fine. I go back. I still turn a few fishermen's heads. I'll just tell you.
Say she's still Scallop Queen of Digby.
Absolutely.
She goes back, and there's no competition.
Probably because the birth rate has dropped off there. So
It has, unfortunately.
Now that we've fished out the whole sea, there's not much left there.
Scallops have taken over.
We're down to our last scallop. Okay. So, Jill, that brings us to us. How did we meet?
We were set up on a blind date by a mutual friend.
Shout out to Liz.
I'll say it was 100% blind on my side. I did not know. She DM'd me and said, "Hey, I have a friend who is interested in meeting you because he saw my hot ass on my Instagram."
Yes.
I was being a real thot at the time, so there was a lot to see. And I think that she was scrolling through her Instagram or whatever, and Matt was like, "Who dat? Who dat though? Why haven't you introduced me to her?" And so she DM'd me, and it was so funny because I had already made up my mind that I was leaving Atlanta. I already told my roommate that I'm so sorry. I'm not going to extend our lease after a year. This was 3 months living with her. I'm moving to Los Angeles, whatever. I'm fuck Atlanta. I hate all the men here. I'm done. And then I remember exactly where I was when I got the DM from Liz. I was in traffic, in Little 5 Points.
No, I'd say now that we're together, I'd say maybe don't look at your phone while you're driving. But I didn't know that at the time, okay? If I knew that's what she was doing, maybe.
It was a stoplight, I said. And yeah, she sent me that message if I want to go on a blind date. And I was like, I've never done that before. Sure, whatever, why not? And and then I think you got my number and we were chatting. We were texting and then set a date not much later than that.
Mm-hmm. So you were in a hoe phase at the time? Well, why was your butt all over your Instagram?
It's one of those things. I feel like that.
It's one of those things.
Millennial women say where I'm I'm reclaiming my body and I'm sexualizing myself. If I'm gonna be sexualized, then at least I will take control of the narrative and do it on my own timeline, in my own way that I want to be represented. But I was just horny and wanted people to know that I was hot. And so,
nothing wrong with that, Joe.
I exploit myself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And so Matt was sort of a bridge that you were willing to burn because you were leaving anyways, right? You were basically setting the town on fire, and Matt was just part of that, right?
Yeah, I was
didn't care.
Whatever, fuck it. I didn't care. I was I've just never been on a blind date before. That's an interesting idea. So yeah, I was all right, fuck it, which is honestly, not to jump ahead of ourselves into the love portion of the thing, but lower your stakes, people, just do something fun. So yeah. you never know where it might lead. Look how cute we are now.
You are so cute.
And so, what was your first impression of Matthew Austin when you describe the scene? You went for a drink or you went for coffee or whatever, and was he already there? Did you?
First of all, she was late.
She was late. Okay.
I'll tell you, Matt's hoe move that I didn't realize until afterwards is that the place that he picked for our first date was the bar underneath his apartment building.
Oops. Oops.
And I knew that because I saw his apartment after the day.
Wow.
So obviously my first impressions were that he was super hot, super cute, super charming and funny. I was very standoffish and very much like prove to me that this is going to be a good time or whatever. And but I was also shy and nervous, so that's kind of just my default attitude.
Right.
Yeah.
She walked in late. She was in her car eating gas station sushi, and
Yeah.
and she walked in, and we had to do the awkward thing where it was a cocktail bar. I forget that. I remember exactly where it was because it was in my apartment.
Not Little Trouble, the other one, Spirit.
Yeah, maybe it's called Spirit. But anyways, it was just like a cocktail bar.
Okay.
So if there's any sort of line, it's going to take you a while to get your drink because they're putting in 15 ingredients and shaking and pouring and adding garnish and all this shit. So we went to sit down and I said, okay, I'll go get us drinks. What do you want? She picked something off the menu. And then I go up and I'm standing kind of basically 3 feet away from where Jill is sitting, but my back is to her at the bar and I'm just waiting and waiting and waiting. And I'm kind of doing that awkward thing where I'm like trying to keep my eye on the bartender, but also keep turning back to ask her stuff because she's 3 feet away from me and trying to have a conversation and do both. And sometimes my move was I'd get there early and I'd already have a drink just because that's the most awkward part of the date when you're kind of trying to figure out, like, when you're trying to wait for it to start.
Question. Have you done this? Did you take other people to this bar before, Jill?
Good question, Rachel. Have you taken other people?
Because you said my move was.
Well, that's just a general move.
Oh, okay.
I definitely had gone on dates at this bar before, and some of the other bars that were also right near my apartment.
Convenience.
But you didn't live that far from me.
No,
so...
I didn't. I lived like a mile away.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Okay, so this sounds like a happy story, right? So what happened next?
It's an incredible happy story.
Then why a mere 6 months later did we break up for 2 years?
Well, they just asked about how we met, and then we dated for 6 months and loved it. But we did love it, to be honest. And then, we just needed to do a lot of growing separately. Mm-hmm. But
wait, so can I just say, so on our second or third date, I also knew that I was moving to Los Angeles. So I think this was March or April of 2019. And I was walking to the date and I was like, this is really mean of me because I had no idea that Jill was moving. And I said, it's rude to go in and then in a few months from now be like, oh, by the way, I'm leaving. Which is a move I might have done. I might not say anything and pretended it was a last minute thing so I could get out of it if I wanted to pull the shoot.
Sure.
But I said, I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm going to do this the correct way. So I walked in and I said, hey, just so you know, I am moving to LA in a few months. So if you don't want to start anything, I think that's totally fine. I won't be offended. And then she said, are you saying you're moving to LA because you know I'm moving to LA? And I said, what? You're moving to LA? She's like, yeah, I'm moving to LA in August. And I was like, I'm moving to LA in August. And suddenly this ace up my sleeve that I had if, we started hooking up and then I was like, well, we're just hooking up and that's nice, but I got to get out of here scot-free. I pulled the moving to LA card out. What can she do? What can she do? If she says then she's moving to LA, I'm like, you're a psycho. And I was like, you're moving to LA? She's like, yeah, I've already told my roommate I'm moving in with a friend there. So there was never a question that we were going to live together in LA, but it certainly wasn't a reason to break up. So what happened was we dated, ended up driving across the country together, which was super fun. And we got to LA. I found a place to live. She found a place to live. We were on opposite sides of town. And the stress and anxiety of moving to a new place, not really knowing what you're doing, and as Jill said, needing to do some growing, we broke up on my birthday.
Oh.
Thanks.
You broke up with me.
Oh,
first
right.
of all.
Right. Good thing you're here.
I was like blindsided, even though it was a good thing to do. It was the hard thing to do, but the right thing to do.
Right.
So a lot of props to Matt.
Okay, yeah. Props to Matt for bringing.
On his birthday. But I had already.
What do you want for your birthday?
Freedom.
For you to sort of walk
Yeah, exactly.
walk away
Walk away.
slowly and not turn back.
Fill your pockets with rocks and then just throw into the ocean.
She's like, why do you keep reading me Macbeth? Anyway, so we break up. And
Oh wait, can I say? Like,
yeah, sure.
So I had already been planning, like, so we had done this like amazing cross country road trip, and so for his birthday, I had created like an album of all of these photos I had taken for our birthday, and so when he was breaking up with me, I had brought the gift over to his apartment with me, not knowing he was going to break up with me the next day, and he kept being like, I was like, but I have a gift for you, and he's like, I don't want it, like keep it, return it, whatever. I'm like, I can't return it, I made it. And so then I give him this gift, and it was just like devastating. I left. And
That is terrible.
Still has the book though. Very sweet.
Yeah, I still have the book. And then when she left, I opened the book and it's all these like pictures of us, and I was just like, well, I guess this birthday's ruined. Just kidding. Went out, had a great time. No, I didn't. Did not have a great time. Anyways, I wanted to be a good breaker-upper. I've been a very bad breaker-upper in the past, aka someone who like is wishy-washy, half in, half out, or you know, we continue to hook up even though we're broken up. I said, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to give her any mixed messages. We're going to break up. I'm not going to talk to her. I'm not going to text her, and that's it. And you know, she did try to reach out to me a few times. And I said no, and then the pandemic happened, and we just kind of lost track of each other. We really didn't talk for like 2 years. Oh, Jesus, this is going to be the whole fucking show. Maybe you should
It's a
speed it up.
2-hour episode.
JD and Rachel talk for like 2 minutes, like a respectful couple. You're taking this moment in the spotlight. You're saying, no.
The story must be told. The story must be told.
The story must be told. Oh, God. Okay, so then 2 years pass. I'm thinking about you a lot because it's the pandemic. We're all doing a lot of thinking, and I'm thinking, why did I break up with her? I forget.
Over analytical Matt. That's what happened.
Shut up, Rachel. It's not your turn.
Truth hurts.
So I start thinking about really all the good things about Jill, and I'm having trouble being like, okay, like, why didn't it work? So I'm thinking about her. I'm talking to some friends, polling the people as we do on this show sometimes, saying, you think I should reach out to Jill? They say, I thought you were trying to be a good breaker-upper this time.
We didn't
now
say
you're going to
that.
go back and terrorize this woman. You don't know what she's doing. She probably just moved on. She's probably finally happy. You're going to go try to drag her down to your level and then mess things up. And I said, yeah, you're right. That is what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything. More months passed, thinking about her more. Well, go ahead, yes.
Who said that to you? It wasn't us.
No, it was not you.
Okay.
It wasn't you. If I had called you, you would have said, your dick could be wet in 30 minutes if you call her.
Box of condoms, get there now.
Well, we will get to your role in this. So I decided not to. Finally, I ended up calling her. And find out that she has a boyfriend. She's not living in Los Angeles anymore. She's living back in Atlanta. And she said she was tired of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Well, I guess not all of them. And so she's back in Atlanta. It's that part is such a long story. We're not going to tell that. But basically, then I accepted my fate. But I went back to Atlanta maybe a year later, a month later. How long after we spoke was that?
It wasn't long. That was in November. And then you came... Oh, yeah, so actually maybe you came in January. It was just several months later.
Yeah, okay, so it was a few months later, and I'm there, hemming and hawing. Should I text her? I finally do. She says, oh, I'm not in town. I go, okay, well, it's settled. It wasn't meant to be. She said, my dad just died. I said, okay, this is very good timing. She says, I'm back home for the funeral, but I am coming back if you want to grab coffee. Then at this point is when JD and Rachel, I'm going out for brunch with you. You're saying, like, get back together with her. I'm saying, I don't think so. This could go wrong in a billion ways. You're like, just do it. I was like, no, that's terrible advice. I'm trying to be thoughtful. You're like, no, you're being an idiot. Anyways, we end up getting back together. and she moved back to LA, and we've been together ever since.
Yeah. Been in love ever since.
Aw.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
Thanks for advocating for me.
Absolutely.
They didn't even know you.
We haven't
You
even
could have
met
been.
you. We just knew your
Well,
story.
the other people didn't know me either, and they were telling him, "No, remember how she hurt you."
I didn't hear bad
No.
things. I heard good
It's-
stuff.
It's because my friends know me and they don't trust me. That's why. Okay, well now you know Jill's credentials. You know why she's here. You know our relationship situation. You know JD and Rachel's. So now let's try to help you. But first, some very quick housekeeping. If you'd like to support the show, go to patreon.com/isthisgood. Jill pays for the show. I think Rachel does. Do you still pay for the show, Rachel?
Pays.
Yeah. Yes.
Why?
I don't. Jason.
Because I want to make sure that it works. Basically, when I post a show, I want to make sure it's there.
Okay, perfect. So when you go to patreon.com/isthisgood, you'll get ad-free episodes, you'll get access to our thriving community on Discord, and you'll get an exclusive episode every month. Of course, send me topics at isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. I'm back at inbox 0 as of today.
Nice.
Very excited about
Congrats.
that. So fill my box and subscribe on YouTube. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. So the premise of the show is very simple, but today a bit different. We're going to answer some Valentine's Day questions. We're going to settle some relationship squabbles, and then we're going to play a game that has a 50% chance of devolving into a real fight.
It already has, Matt. It already has.
Oh, we'll get to that.
no.
We'll get to that. We'll get to
I've been
that.
so stressed.
I was thinking of calling this segment where people sent us topics, because at first it was just the pea hounds. People on Patreon sending me questions. Mind your pea hound cues.
Cute. Very
I like it.
cute.
Clever.
Yeah, but then
clever.
other people sent me stuff.
Right.
So
Still.
well, it's just questions. I guess we got to start with this one. At Jared Wright sent in this question: is Valentine's Day good? And I feel like I know the answer. So is anyone willing to say anything good about Valentine's Day? Maybe that's how I'll frame it. Or JD or Rachel, any memories of like this was a good Valentine's Day or this was a bad one? In general, anything?
I mean, Valentine's Day to me is the New Year's of sex. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Oh, that's funny you say. I was going to say it's the April Fool's Day of sex.
Oh, interesting. Okay. A little bit of both, actually, I guess.
Matt always pulls pranks with his penis on Valentine's Day.
Such a funny game.
Hey, Joe, what time is it? That's not a Timex.
We worked in the service industry for way too long. You know, Valentine's Day was always like super busy, just very contrived, very manufactured. It definitely felt, we're also Gen X, so it's very much like this was made by the card companies to sell more cards and blah, blah, blah. Fuck Valentine's Day. And then also I've been working in the NBA for 20 years. So literally every Valentine's Day I've been at All-Star Weekend. So we've never, I don't think we've ever exchanged Valentine's Day presents. Have we, Rachel? I don't think so.
I didn't. Well, am I going to tell this story right now? This
No.
feels too early.
Oh, that's well, we did that.
The one Valentine's present I ever gave you was traveling on the subway naked under a trench coat to come to your house.
Yeah, but I wasn't on the subway, guys.
No, but
I was at
like,
home.
If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right.
It was like
Surprise.
she arrived at my door, but we're talking about an hour and a half journey for her. Like
Like,
almost the entire north. She came from the
February.
in February. Yeah,
Finch and
It's
Young.
freezing in Toronto.
yeah. So I'm like, after the surprise of it, it was great. It was awesome. But then it was just like, wait a minute, where did you change? Like, where did you get into this outfit? And you're like, I got dressed at home. I'm like, wow.
It wasn't really dressed. It
No,
was
you
undressed.
were basically nude.
Yeah. And I was just like, oh, you know what? If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it.
It was great. And I had like 5 roommates at the time too, so it could have gone extremely bad.
Oh, you mean you said I'm knocking on the door, and when it swings open, I'm doing flasher in the park. Ah!
Pretty much.
Streaking all the way down the subway line.
Pretty much. It worked out great, but you
Oh
know.
my gosh, that is good.
Well, it sounds like to me the showing up at JD's house naked was a present for him. But it sounds like you being naked on the subway was a present for you.
I guess so. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
That's true.
But yeah,
Okay,
I've never. I don't really have anything good to say. But I'm also. I know. I'm never going to shit on love. I'm never going to shit on people having a good time and enjoying each other's company. And what I don't like is the pressure to do stuff like there's a lot of pressure among couples to be like, well, it's Valentine's Day. She didn't get me anything, or he didn't get me anything, and that part of it I don't love. But
Yeah.
Okay, so at least you're aligned. Like Rachel, you're saying, I don't love it, but Rachel's not saying, I wish he would do more.
Why aren't you riding on the subway naked for me?
yeah, I would.
Oh, Marta? Naked Marta.
Yeah, a little Marta.
Oh god, it just breaks down for 35 minutes.
You would, well, if that trench coat opens, you're arrested for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
Rachel looking like OnlyFans Carmen Sandiego. Jill, what's your experience with Valentine's Day? Do you care for it?
I mean, I don't know. Find me a person who does care for it, really. But I mean, if I have something like, I mean, obviously it's better if you're in a relationship because then you can actually like participate. I've been honestly single for like most of my life. Matt is my like kind of first and third boyfriend, so
Red flag.
Wow. Gotta meet the middle guy.
First and third boyfriend.
Gotta meet number 2. What's he like?
So yeah, my experience with it is just like always being on the outskirts and being curmudgeon-y about it. But then even now when I'm in a relationship, I'm like, I mean, even like last year we were like, okay, agreed upon, we're not going to do anything. Our anniversary is in March and that's more important to us. But even like the week before, the days before, I was like, it's like that, birthday thing. Like, don't get me any presents. And it's like, shit, do I get him a present? Do I get something? Should I just write a card? But then, there's still all this pressure. The good thing I will say is that because Easter is close and Easter is the best candy holiday, and then Valentine's also is a candy holiday, we are in kind of like the peak or the prime of like candy, I would say, in the calendar year.
Right. Yeah,
That's
You
true.
have chocolates, like a Reese's cup shaped like a heart, which has, I think, in ratio more peanut butter to chocolate, and that is my preference. And then we have the Cadbury mini eggs going on. So
yeah.
I would say like that is a positive, and I guess like pinks and reds is cute. And yeah, love is always good. Anytime someone wants to celebrate love, or Galentine's Day. I guess we can also throw in Galentine's Day as like a
No,
good thing
we don't
about
have to.
Valentine's Day.
We don't have to. I mean, you can do that on Wednesday. I'm perfectly. I mean, today. No, not today. Wednesday. Today's Monday. Okay.
Those are my thoughts.
Okay, well, I guess we're aligned too, because it's not my favorite. I like you. I spent a lot of time single or in relationships that didn't warrant celebrating Valentine's Day. So, or were like too new and young to be celebrating Valentine's Day. So I didn't love it, but I did like it when I was a kid. Like when everyone would have those little pre-made cards, like to blank from blank, and with the hearts, or they'd be like Snoopy themed or something, like the classic like I choose you kind of things. And in that way, it's good, but I don't need the calendar telling me when to celebrate love, because that's so you say, yeah, because it's our anniversary. And I don't celebrate that either. Thanks. All right, next question. Tired Oxen asks, please share your top 5 most sensual foods to enjoy in a romantic setting. I want us to tackle this in a couple different ways. First of all, do you believe, Rachel, that there is such a thing as aphrodisiacs when it comes to food?
I don't know. Eating doesn't turn me on. It makes me sleepy. I mean,
Yep, that's what I wrote, Rachel. The aphrodisiac is not eating.
Yes. No, I've never been into that. It's never crossed my mind. Let's eat in bed.
Yeah, but is there a food that turns you on?
I mean, alcohol makes me more dirty.
Okay.
So pour the booze.
Not a food. Wine is not a food, Rachel.
Shit.
Okay, so let's say you were going to do, JD, let's say you were going to make a meal for Rachel on Valentine's Day.
Okay.
With the idea of it being a sexy affair. Anything that jumps to mind that you would make or order for her?
Well, I guess I would just go for the classics, like champagne and chocolate, like strawberries and chocolate. All the cliches, you know. Throw some oysters in there. I don't know. Like, I would literally be at a loss. I would Google sexy foods, and I would just do the top 5, whatever popped up.
Be clear, he would never do that in a million years. So this is all like fantasy.
Yeah, I mean, Rachel likes to say, "Oh, I wish you were so more romantic." But if I was more romantic, you would not be as attracted to me.
I like gifts.
You like gifts, sure. But if I hire a mariachi band, you know, and serenade you one night,
the most erotic.
You're not into that.
Most erotic of serenades. Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah,
I do like the idea of you Googling sexy foods because that could go in the way of you like seeing a picture of an apple pie and being like,
sure,
you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to masturbate now with this apple pie. Yeah. Very sexy.
Pomegranate, yeah.
That is a sexy food.
Oh yeah, right. What about you? Any sexy foods? Any foods you want to fuck?
Any foods I want to fuck. I mean, a banana in a bikini, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, food doesn't. Honestly, the only thing that's coming to my mind is like a steak. Like, is a steak a sexy food?
I mean,
like if you go out to dinner and it's like a moody dinner, and then you're having like red wine and you're sharing a steak. I feel like sharing foods, like shared plates or something. That's sexy because you're like. Both engaging and, maybe your hands are touching or something or,
feeding each other,
feeding each other. Yeah, exactly. Oh, try this. Oh, try my drink.
Yeah. You want the waiter to come over on Valentine's Day. This is a small plates restaurant. Everything you see is shareable. We start at the top from the smallest of the dishes. Okay, I'm going to throw some tips your way because you still have a couple nights to figure out what you're doing on Valentine's Day. I would say, in general, don't go out because the prices are all hiked. And like you said, JD, in terms of New Year's, it is amateur hour. Yeah. It's amateur hour for love, just like New Year's is amateur hour for partying. Have sex before.
And after.
Oh.
Okay, sure. If you can after, but before, and then you take the pressure off, and then you can kind of the range of foods you can eat gets much larger.
Right.
But I'll say sushi is the number one because it's light.
Yeah.
I was gonna say sushi
and just those delicate cuts across a tuna belly.
Sexy food.
Caviar, oysters, a flaky whitefish. Maybe a beef tartare, raw. We're talking raw, raw.
Okay, yeah.
It feels sexual.
You're raw dogging it.
Raw dogging it. Yeah, bone marrow. Just suck it out of that little
right out.
half bone tube, and then alcohol.
I thought Jill was backing away from you just then because you were really getting it.
I'm getting colder.
You would love a bone marrow.
No, I do love bone marrow. Yeah, I do love bone marrow.
Okay, next question. A little Jack Horner says, are long-distance relationships good? Can they work? Tips/tricks not to cry in one. And similarly, Andrew Richardson asked, long-distance Zoom dates, are they good and how would you elevate them? So let's start with long-distance relationships. Can I just get a hand if you've been in a long-distance relationship?
I have.
Okay, so JD, you're raising your hand. I raised my hand too. For those not listening, though, you should definitely watch as well. Go to youtube.com/isthisgood. How did yours work out, JD?
Not good. Not good. She lived
in
in Australia and I lived in Toronto. So.
Oh, that's a tough time.
Yeah.
Difference.
Different, and before Zoom, before the internet, really before. Yeah. So very, very high phone bills, and it ended because different hemispheres. Not good.
So you broke up on the phone, I assume?
Yeah, I mean, it just sort of like fizzled out, really. I mean, ultimately.
Yeah. So do you have any tips then? I guess not, because you're a failure.
Yeah, I'm a total failure when it comes to that.
You can ask the guy that got divorced about marriage?
Yeah, but I don't know. It's a whole new age, though. I mean, people can have an entire,
Okay.
long distance thing. I mean, God, we're addicted to that show, 90 Day Fiance. That's all long distance.
Yeah. Well, no, isn't the whole point that they come
Yeah,
here?
yeah, it is. Yeah. But it starts long distance because it's the internet. It's a new age.
It is a new age. Okay, I mean, the internet makes it easier, but by
does.
no means does it make it easy, I would say.
Right.
And so I'm going to highlight two potential problems. Like in relationships, and especially long-distance relationships, you'll hear people say, communicate. You got to communicate. I say there can be too much communication because it's annoying to both try to live your life and be present and then constantly be texting or FaceTiming or phone calling. And so it's counterintuitive, but I think giving each other space to be happy in your own lives, because obviously you're sad you're not together, but if you add up the sad of not being together with the sad of being kind of like neither here nor there in your own life, in your own geographical location, you're going to be double sad. So I actually say be happy as possible in your personal life where you are. What else would I say? Yes, another thing to be aware of is being too nice to each other when you see each other, because it might be rare that you see each other. So when you finally do, you might be like, this thing's been nagging at me, but I don't want to bring it up because I don't want to spend the 4 days that we're together of the whole month fighting. But it's important to fight. It's important to know how you fight, to understand if this is actually going to be a viable long-term relationship. And have a plan on when you're going to meet up permanently.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what the fuck are you doing?
Exactly.
Good advice.
It's good advice?
Great
Very good
advice.
advice.
Okay,
What
now,
happened?
what happened to me? Well, I mean, the
Seemed
other...
like you got it all figured out.
Well, what happened was I think I was too young, and the main one I was in was first year of college, the year I met JD, and I think I was too young and too insecure. And like when I would hear about her, she'd be like, kind of doing the advice that I'm giving right now, being like, "Oh, I went here and I met this person, and I met blah blah," and then Derek said, and I'm like, "Back that truck up." Derek? Yeah, he's the guy in my class. Interesting. A man in your class at university? One of 6,000 people in your major? I don't think so. Yeah, it didn't. And I don't envy anyone in it. And look, we just went through the pandemic, a time when we were all communicating via text, call, and Zoom. Did anyone feel like it was a good replacement for that? No. It got us by, but it certainly didn't amplify anything. So, yeah, it's tough. Internet makes it easier, but it's not easy. All right, Graphic Mark asks, what are the best and worst love languages? And so, just to start, I would say Mark is asking the wrong question, because it's not about best and worst. It's about respecting what works for your partner,
right,
because that's the way they experience love. That being said, it's gift giving. Okay.
We can all agree.
We can all agree that's the
Red
worst one.
flag if that is their number one.
Okay, well, why do you say that? I know you're joking, but why do you say that?
Because it seems like it is superficial, I guess. It seems like there has to be kind of a even monetary expectation, I guess, that the other person can provide, just gifts, or even, that I guess I don't connect to like what about gift giving would feed someone's like emotions too, or connection with another person. Like if someone is just giving me like flowers, or oh, this jacket I really like, or surprising me with a cake. I mean, I guess what's behind that is the thoughtfulness. But if a person is identifying, no, it's the thing that I want, it's not, I don't care about the thoughtfulness, I just want the thing,
right,
that feels shallow.
Sure, but I think for most people it is the thoughtfulness.
Could it be born out of poverty though? Like if somebody never had anything growing up, like this is the ultimate, like, wow, I feel really great now, my life has turned around, you're bringing me what I never had.
Yeah, like provided for.
Yeah.
Like, and yeah, I can see that.
But
I guess the people I know who have gift giving as their like primary love language, maybe are a bit shallow. So
It's not out of deprivation. They're just shallow. Okay.
they just want things.
Okay.
All right, Rachel, what's the best one?
Oh, I mean, again, it's what I like, not what's
Which is?
best. Well, again, I forget what the
What are the-
categories
Do you know,
are.
Kyle, words of affirmation,
Yes, that.
acts of service.
That
What?
words of affirmation.
Okay, you're wrong. That's the second best. I think the best one is
that's
acts of
mine.
service because it's the hardest.
Yes, but it's what I desire. It's my love language. It's what I like. Words of affirmation.
Okay.
You don't have to do things for me, but if you appreciate me and give me the lovey words that I like, it makes me very happy.
Words of affirmation such as, you used to be very hot.
You should have seen Rachel when she was 20. My
Hey,
God.
I did not say that. That was not something that I said.
Okay, picture Rachel 20. No, close your eyes. I don't want you to be distracted by what she currently looks like, okay? I want you to picture a whole new person. Okay, geez, we have a lot more questions, but we got to move on because I want to make sure that we get to some other stuff in the show. So let's move on to the next segment where it's time for the game show that pits newly married couples against each other with a series of revealing questions to determine how well the spouses know or do not know each other. It's the Newlywed Game!
Wow.
Tonight, we have one couple that's not newly married and one couple that's not married at all. Also, based on the reaction of two people on this show, not naming names, Jill and Rachel, this is apparently the most complicated game of all time.
I get you. I see you, Jill. I see
I just
you.
kept being like, wait, so when I'm supposed to answer a question, is that my answer or I am answering for? I'm not even joking. I've asked him this 5 times. I've walked through every question, be like,
Same
okay,
over
this
here,
is-
Joe.
I see you.
Same over here.
I see you, girl.
I think I get it, and then I wake up and I'm like, what am I supposed to do here?
Okay, well, now I'm nervous, now that everyone admitted that they don't know how to play this game. Okay, well, basically, I don't even know if I should explain it, or we should just go into
Everybody knows
Just
the
do it,
newlywed.
just
Everyone
do
knows
it.
the Newlywed Game.
Just do it.
You basically ask a question, someone writes down an answer, and then you try to see if your answers match. It's really subjective trivia.
Right.
But for I don't know why newlywed game. Why newlywed couples? Like, would it be less interesting if it was a couple that had been married for 40 years?
I think it's testing their knowledge of each other.
Yeah. And they're now that they're married, they should know each other a little bit more than when they were just dating. And a lot of if you ever watch that show, a lot of it's about sex. It's all innuendo and sex.
You mean making whoopee?
making whoopee.
Whoopee.
A phrase that originated because whoopee was something
Whoopee!
people said during sex?
Yeah.
Whoopee!
Whoopee! Yeah, that was a cracking orgasm there, sir. Whoopee! All right. Okay, so let's do the first question, and everyone will see how it works. So
Okay.
this one is for me and JD to ask Jill and Rachel. So here's the question. If your partner, so if Rachel or Jill had to choose an actor to play themselves in a movie, who would they choose? So JD, you go first. So Rachel has her answer already written down. You have not seen it.
Right.
And by the honor method, I have not seen Jill's answers either. So JD, who do you think Rachel wants to play her in a movie?
Oh, this is so tricky because Rachel is very vocal about the actors that she likes.
Okay.
Like Matthew McConaughey, for example, won't shut up about Matthew McConaughey. We're watching True Detective Season 1 and like 3 times an episode. Loves Matthew McConaughey.
Dry humping the couch. You know, it's obvious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Rooting around in the closet saying, I know that trench coat's in here somewhere.
Thank God I got her those period panties. I'll just say that.
Does the subway go from Atlanta to Austin, Texas?
But for actresses that she admires, I'm not well versed here. So who do I think? Now, we sort of had a little chat and she was like, "Hey, don't spare my feelings. Just say who you think." And then that changed when she sort of reread the questions.
I reread the question.
And then she was like, "Oh, this is who I want."
Oh, okay. Not who looks like
Yeah,
me.
not who looks like you, but who I... Now that opens it up to, I don't know, like it could be fucking anyone from Anne Hathaway to Meryl Streep for all I know. But go ahead. What?
I mean, there has to be some sort of resemblance.
Yeah, okay. Well, I have an answer.
It's not Dave.
Okay.
Okay.
The answer is Reese Witherspoon. Because, she's super hot, A. She's super bright, B. She's kind of lives in the South, but not that you're from the South. But she can play slightly trashy. No offense.
Okay. So,
Wow! Happy Valentine's Day to you, motherfucker. Amazing. Okay.
Rachel, turn that card around. What is your answer?
I think it's divorce papers.
Well, we can't see. Read
What
it
does
out.
it say?
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, goddamn, I was so close. I was so
Very
close.
good.
It was that.
That's a good one.
Okay, no
Yeah.
points are awarded. Okay.
Reese is hotter.
There
Reese
are-
is hotter.
There are points deducted.
Okay, well,
Deductive. But
Damn
that's
it.
a good one, Rachel. I can
you.
see that because Jennifer Aniston is funny but has depth and can also play trashy.
Yeah.
okay.
It's fine.
Well, that's.
I lived in a
it's-
small town for a large part of my life.
Oh, I'm there with you.
It's very interesting you should say that, JD, and it's making me question
know.
my answer because since I met Jill, the person that I think she looks the most like is Zooey Deschanel.
Okay.
Now, 90% of that is the bangs.
Right.
So I think she thinks I would say Zooey Deschanel, but I have recently found out from a friend of mine that apparently Jill's doppelganger is actually Reese Witherspoon. Do you see it?
Yes.
I'm not sure I see it.
I do.
See it.
I mean, I
do.
see it because she's trashy, but
God. We need to talk, Jill. We need to talk.
now my other, like, if I'm not going specifically by exactly looks, I was thinking Emma Watson because Jill's a big Harry Potter,
Potterhead, yeah.
Hermione Granger lady. She has a
Sure.
cat named Hermione. I mean, we have a cat named Hermione. So I'm gonna stick with my gut, and I'm also gonna say Reese Witherspoon.
Wow.
Wow.
Look!
Oh, come on.
Witherspoon!
That's good.
A fucking morning show over here.
We're all Reese Witherspoon. I'll say my second was gonna be Kristen Stewart, to be honest, because I do love her. Like, I mean, I have had a crush on her since I was like, I don't know, 16 years old. And has like the moodiness going on, but she's not a good actor. And
Right.
so then I didn't want my movie to suck. And so I went with Reese.
Okay, let's move on here to the next question. This one's for the ladies.
Okay, so hold on. You guys are winning then right now.
Yeah, we're winning. We got 1 point.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Rachel and Jill, what is one thing your partner has that you'd love to get rid of? So one thing of mine or JD's that you would love to get rid of. Rachel, what is that one thing you want to get rid of?
That one thing is all of his headbands. All of his headbands, because after he works out, he wrings them out in front of me and it pours out the sweat. And after he wrings them out, and whether it's dripping on the ground because we've played pickleball or in the sink because he's worked out, which anyway is gross enough, he throws them at me. And I get hit with them. So, so I guess I'm lucky that he does wring them out before he throws them at me. But that's it. The headbands.
Well, what's going to catch all my sweat?
I don't care, but you can't throw something at me that is filled with your disgusting sweat.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I didn't say
Okay,
that.
JD,
I didn't
what's your
think you
answer?
did.
I said 20 to 30 pounds.
Oh my God.
25 to 30 pounds. I would say.
Hey, he gave himself a range. Okay, so no points awarded.
No points.
Oh, Rachel.
Do you agree with his answer, Rachel?
Do I agree that it needs to happen? Yeah, we both need to lose 20 to 30 pounds.
Okay. All right, Jill, what's something of mine that you would love to get rid of?
Yeah, this one was really hard because we don't have many things. So this was the question that was stressing me out the most because I'm like, oh, we don't have any things. I was going like, abstract, and I was gonna say IBS because we have one bathroom and we both have tummy troubles.
Oh,
Jeez.
no.
And it haunts me the day that we both have tummy troubles at the same time. But I thought of something, and I don't know. He said that he had one before we were chatting, but my answer would be hiking poles. He has. I know he's not gonna.
He's not 70.
Okay. When I fight off a fucking bear with those poles, You'll be sorry.
Because every time we go hiking, and he's always like, take your poles. I'm like, first of all, they're so dorky, so I don't want to do them. And then also, I don't know how to use them. So I'm just like, they're just like hanging off my limp wrist, like I'm a 13-year-old playing tennis or something. Like, I'm just like, I don't know how to use them. And then he always makes fun of me that your poles are just dragging behind you. You're not even using them right. I'm like, I didn't want them in the first place.
I thought you had to be 70 to use those.
Thank you. But then I will say that when I don't use them and we're climbing, my back hurts. He's like, that's what the poles were for. I'm like, okay, well.
Wow.
So not only do they make me feel bad about myself, but they're annoying and dorky.
Okay. You know what else is dorky? A life jacket when you're in a boat, okay? But it saves your life. All right.
Jill, would it be better if it was to fight off animals, as he claims, like a Gandalf walking stick? Is that more acceptable than the poles?
I mean, honestly, that would be cool, but I don't know. I mean, because I still don't know how to use hiking poles. I'm like, is that as efficient?
Yeah,
no.
I don't think so. But I
yeah,
mean,
definitely don't learn how to use them.
day.
Definitely don't learn how to make it easier on yourself. Okay, here we go. We have also no points awarded. My answer was jeans and most/all of my other pants.
Yeah, honestly, I was gonna say.
Then why didn't you?
I was gonna.
Then
say,
why didn't you?
Because I didn't want to make you feel bad about your.
That's what the point of this show is. I'm about to make you feel bad on the next question.
Oh Jesus! Here we go.
I know. Honestly, the next question was harder in a different way because there was too many.
Well, let's get to that next question. This one's for the fellas. Matt and JD, what is your biggest pet peeve about your partner? JD, what's your biggest pet peeve about Rachel?
She's a hoarder. It's plain and simple. She will throw nothing out at all. I broke the handle off of a ceramic bowl thing that we had. I put it aside because I knew if she saw it in the trash, she would freak out and go, "Why is this in the trash?" She said, "What happened to this thing?" So it broke. We should throw it out. And she said, "Yeah, we should throw it out." Next day, it's on the shelf. She will not throw anything out.
I threw that out.
Yeah, only after I made you go to Costco and buy. Well, how many Tupperware containers did you buy? Like 45?
Oh, honestly, can we have some? We were just literally at Target on Sunday shopping for Tupperware.
Yeah.
Can't believe I said that. Edit that out. Rachel, what is your answer?
I want you to know that I screwed this up.
Oh, no. Okay, so can you...
But...
Oh, no, you can't because you've heard his answer.
But if I had thought it was that, I would have definitely said hoarding and
This
clutter.
is the hardest game of all time. This is the hardest game. How did you interpret it?
That she was going to write down...
I wrote my biggest pet peeve. Wait, what's the next question?
Okay, so JD, if JD can guess it, I'll give you the point.
Oh, okay, well...
it's going to be the next question. My answer will be the next question.
Oh,
okay, fine. You don't get any points.
Okay, Rachel, we are getting our asses handed to us over here.
This game, how do we play so many times?
Been together for 30 years.
Yeah,
We're only up by one.
It's going to be over soon, though, I think.
Game of inches, Matt. It's a game of inches.
Okay.
Holy shit.
An honorable mention for me, pet peeve about Jill came up yesterday. Ambiguous comments, because she was like, "Oh, it would be great if could you make me soup?" And I was like, "Oh, I'll try." And I opened the fridge and there was nothing except zucchinis. So I was like, I think I could get something together. I make the soup. I taste it. I'm like, "Damn, this is good." I'm spending all day over the hot stove. I say, "Okay, yeah, come over and taste it." She comes over. She goes, "Oh, that's an interesting color."
I don't know what I was expecting. I guess because the soups he's been making have been very vibrant in color, and then this one was
green is vibrant.
It's a green soup. I mean, it's zucchini and dill and everything. But he's right that I should have been like, "Oh my god, amazing!" first, and then.
We're dealing with a fragile ego here, folks.
Pat him on his head first.
Okay, but my answer is going to be, and hope we get this one right. Volume of voice does not match relative volume of situation.
Oh, see, you fucked this one up, yeah?
No. My biggest pet peeve about you. You fucked it up.
I fucked it up.
Oh my god!
See, I think he's wrong. He's wrong.
What
read,
is-
read
what-
the text.
Sorry,
read
I
the
did-
text.
What
It
is
says
Matt and JD? What is your biggest pet peeve about your partner? Who is JD's partner?
I'm
Rachel.
going back
Who is
to
Matt's
this
partner?
text.
Jill.
Yeah, I fucked it up too.
Oh my fucking god!
What
But I
is?
haven't answered. This is just like the next question that we're doing now instead.
Well then don't say
don't
it.
say it.
Okay, fine.
Okay, would you would have
had-
gotten that though? If you knew that, you would have gotten that.
That is what I had in mind. I have it written down on my phone that is my
See,
answer.
and
that my
I
voice
would
is
have
too
had
loud.
hoarding. See, we both get a
Yeah,
point
but
for that.
nobody
But
gets points.
I have that answer written down for myself. That it is that my voice is too loud. I have like, I don't know what it is, but I cannot regulate the volume of my voice. I can't. He looks at me all the time, horrified, and I'm like, "Am I talking too loud?" He's like, "You're literally screaming at me." I came back from yoga yesterday. It was like a hot yoga session, supposed to be all quiet. I come back, I'm screaming, and he's like, are you even louder than before? I'm like, I'll say it, this is a family ailment. My whole family is so loud, and we have no idea how loud we are.
Well, thank you.
That's true. That one is
that
it.
one's true. Okay.
Thank you for messing that up too. I feel
know,
like we're
damn,
soul
yeah.
sisters.
Okay, I'm scared of what's going to happen here. Rachel and Jill, what is your partner's worst habit? Now, for anyone listening, they would know that
You have
Rachel,
something
your
written
partner's
down.
Jason, so you're about to tell us what Jason's worst habit is. Jill, I'm your partner.
Yes.
You're about to tell me what my worst habit is.
Yes.
So
And I'm
I'm
going to
not
write down
revealing
what
it.
you think my worst habit is. And JD's going to write down what he thinks. It's so obvious.
No, it's.
I haven't written mine down yet, so.
So
There you
afraid
go. Here. You know
Okay,
what?
Rachel, what is JD's worst habit? Which is not a pet peeve. It's a habit. So what is his worst habit?
Okay, this habit, I mean, is it a habit? Yes, because it happens and he doesn't even notice it's happening, and I'm sitting and it's driving me crazy. He lets the dog sit under him while he eats, like literally in his lap, and he'll just eat. And I'm like, what are you doing? This is why she fucking harasses me every time I have food, because you've trained her to sit and beg in your lap, and then he'll give her some food.
But
Hold on, that 80-pound dog sits on your lap while you
Oh,
eat?
she's not 80 pounds. She's like 40. She's little.
40 pounds.
She's little.
Okay, so a 40-pound dog sits on your lap?
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Okay, our
Hey.
40-pound dog is driving me fucking nuts. He's just walking around. He's like, I'm on podcast too.
He's got the spilkus.
He's got the spilkus.
End stage spilkus.
Okay.
Yeah, I love my dog. There's
JD,
nothing wrong with
what's your
that.
answer? Turn
My
that card over.
answer is letting Hazel beg.
Yay!
There you go.
Game's
Nailed it.
tied. Now, can we go ahead
Wow.
here? Jill,
1 point.
what is my worst habit?
I mean, yeah, this one was difficult in the opposite sense that I was thinking of so many, but I was also trying to think of one that you were going to identify. And so I think, because it also does affect me sometimes, is that he plays with his gum, and it's, I think it's the worst of it.
What do you mean by that?
So he first of all, he's a compulsive gum eater. Eats, I mean, I don't even know how many packs a day.
I know.
I'm on 2 packs a day, Doc. I can't cut down.
I mean, it can't be good for you, but
I got the fluoride lung.
compulsive gum eater. But then he'll take the chewed piece of gum out of his mouth and just play with it for, I'm not even joking, hours. He'll set it down and come back to it.
Do you do that with
And so-
boogers as well, Matt?
No, but I don't put it. No, I don't. And I don't put it back in my mouth. Just to be clear.
Yeah, he doesn't. Okay, that's better. But, I mean, that.
So
that
it's
would
normal.
That would be fine. Yeah, it's normal. But yeah, that's what I said. Playing
Okay.
with your gum.
I was hemming and hawing between chewing my pen, which, as you could see here, I have chewed this one, which I literally, this is a new pen, just started it
Wow.
yesterday. Because I do that more, and I didn't want to admit to a new embarrassing habit, which I have started, which is playing with my gum.
God damn it.
You guys.
I'll also say about the gum, how it affects me is that I do the laundry, and so I'll find it in his pocket.
Oh, let's not overreact.
It was on the couch the other day because he fell asleep. Oh, this is when we first started dating again. We fell asleep together, and he was playing with his gum, and it was in my hair. He had to cut a chunk of my hair out because there was gum in my hair.
Which hair?
No.
That's the question. All right, here we go.
Like, worse, gum.
Wow.
Okay, well, I did have a tiebreaker, but looks like we don't need it because we won.
Congratulations.
Shit.
Well
2-1.
deserved.
Well,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
guess
I'm
we
sweating.
should start talking to one another, Jason.
Really? Where you tripped up was not in knowing each other. It was in understanding how the game worked.
It's fair, Rachel. You and I are on the same page.
Yes.
You can't give me like simple instructions.
I find it interesting that the two women were like, oh, 2 opportunities to say things that annoy me about my partner.
Double down. Double down. I guess this is a case where the women didn't want to ask for directions.
Shut up.
Oh boy, what fun we're having. We do have a hard out, unfortunately, because our cat has a UTI and we got to go on telehealth.
She getting
And,
around again. Jeez.
Yeah.
What the?
Katie Wells is a slut.
There's only one thing left to do, and that's play subjective trivia. So subjective trivia, it's just like regular trivia, except only I know the answer, and this time it'll be very embarrassing if you don't get it, because you're supposed to know me better than anyone. You're supposed to be my best friend. So we just played the Newlywed game, which, as we said, was famous for referring to sex as making whoopee. So today's question is, which of these old-timey euphemisms for having sex would I be most likely to use?
Oh.
Giving you a lot of options here, so if you need to write them down, feel free. Nookie,
Okay.
hanky-panky, knockin' boots, rollin' in the hay, horizontal mambo, or bumpin' uglies. So that, again, is nookie, hanky-panky, knockin' boots, rollin' in the hay, horizontal mambo, or bumping uglies. Anyone have any thoughts?
Well, I want to eliminate bumping uglies just because I don't like it. And I hope that's not the case.
No.
And then the two that stood out for me as possible contenders were rolling in the hay and then knocking boots, because they both have kind of a cute country sway, and yeah, Matt's very into country music, and I don't know. I mean, this isn't about me, so.
Well,
I'm like,
Kinda
I
is.
like country music.
First time I've ever heard her say that. Okay. JD, Rachel, where are you leaning
yeah,
on
I
this?
like where Jill's going with this. Rolling in the hay, a little bit of a mouthful for you, I think. For me, for everybody. So I think I love the knocking boots idea. Like, as you say, Jill, he's very much into country these days. It's kind of cute. It's not the bumpin' uglies. It's not... Nookie is too Limp Bizkit, you know?
Oh, true.
They reclaimed it.
Hanky-panky, a little old-timey for Matt, I think. But knockin' boots, I think that's the one. Rachel, you have an opinion
My
on this?
instinct immediately was knocking boots.
Okay.
Yeah, I think knocking boots. I think also his favorite Shania Twain song might be "Whose Bed Have Your Boots Been Under?" So then that also.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite.
All right, well, that's what you name all the time.
Wouldn't say it's my favorite.
Oh, you're a Shania Twain fan. Name 5 of her songs.
You're still the one, which is our wedding song. No, just kidding. Okay, well, we're ending it on a high note because the answer is knockin' boots.
Oh, yeah.
And now that we got it right, that means that everyone listening can have sex on Valentine's Day. If we got it wrong, respectfully, you should not have done that. I should have said the stakes before, but I didn't. Okay, well, that's the show. But you know what? In a minute, because I wanted to end it on something nice. Let me find that question that I wanted to do. Yes, from Tired Oxen. JD and Rachel. Maybe this isn't nice now that I think about it.
No, I think
What do you miss about being Matt and Jill's age? And vice versa, Matt and Jill, what do you hope to have at JD and Rachel's age? Realizing that the women are younger in both relationships, but in general terms. So why don't we average out our age? We'll say being in your late 30s, and then for you, what do we hope to have late 40s?
How old are you, Matt? How far
42.
off? Okay, I'm 46. Yeah.
Yeah, we're the same age, basically.
I'm 33.
This whole question's fucked up. I guess, okay, maybe better put is, as a married couple with 2 kids, what do you miss about not that, like your relationship, not that, and then we'll say what we hope to have.
Well,
One
just what, 2 days ago, Jason, you said, wait till these kids are out of the house and in college. It's going to be a fuck fest in this house.
That's right.
God.
Because it was very much...
That's the kind of sentiment that has children applying for early admission.
I miss when there was calm everywhere.
That's right.
There's just, you got to be really selective because you don't want to traumatize anyone with that.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need the springs rattling for children to hear. I grew up with that. I still should seek therapy because my parents were a little too busy. I would have friends over. We'd be watching TV. Like, get a new fucking bed. This is not okay.
It was, sadly, just before Tempur-Pedic was invented.
Yes. That would have solved many, many problems. So you don't have to worry about any of that. You do what you want when you want to.
Yeah.
It is the one thing I'm looking forward to in the empty nest. Everything else I'm bummed about, but the fuck fest that's going to happen is just going to be incredible. So
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day. Well, I would say, because I say it's easier for me to answer from a you guys perspective, but like,
Sure.
yes, at some point, or soon-ish, I would like us to be married. We agree that we'd like to have kids.
Oh, nice.
Yes.
I'm answering this for the first time here.
No more than 2, which you have.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
And I like the dynamic that you have with your kids and a level of honesty. I don't know if my repressed self will be able to achieve that level of honesty that you have with both the language and the things that you'll watch together on TV. Your kids are saying, "Daddy, when can we watch Saltburn again?" I don't know if I'll be there, but trying to get that sort of honesty and not like that cheesy shit where you're like, I want to be friends with my kids. I still want to be a parent to them, but an element of friendliness.
Yeah, one of the things I really admire about your family is like the shared sense of humor and sensibility and like comfortability, even like between you and your guys' dynamic, just how confident you are in your relationship and comfortable. I mean, that's something that I really aspire to. And even just like kids and looking forward to how that will change the dynamic in our relationship, but also move us closer together. And, I think about it a lot where I'm like, oh yeah, like, our friends with kids say to us all the time, like, wow, it must be nice just like waking up at 9:00 on a Saturday and being like, what do you want to do today? I guess let's make French toast, and like, that's one thing that they miss. But then they also, get to see one another be parents, which I think is very exciting. So, very much looking forward to that. And just even seeing, like, where our house is, like, where we get to grow up together, all of those things.
I hope it's near us. I'll say that over and over again. You guys will be wonderful parents, and you are such a great couple. I'm so happy that all worked out. You're amazing.
Oh. Well, that's very
it's all because
nice.
of you guys.
Oh, yes. I'll take full
it's
credit.
all because
Full credit.
It's all because
We owe it all to you.
we owe it all to you. Jill, you don't want anyone to find you on social media, do you?
No, not really. I'm trying to get further and further away.
Okay.
Sorry, y'all.
She doesn't even have the Instagram app. She uses Instagram.com, folks.
Wow.
Rachel, do you want to shout out your new handle? Is that where you want people to go?
I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still...
Well, why? You created it.
I know, but I was trying to like, okay, how can I promote the show in a way... and
It's a work in progress.
I need you to move here, Matt, so we can make content that I can put on there. Thank you.
Well, Jill doesn't want to move back to Atlanta. Talk to her.
Damn it, Jill.
I'm not saying that I want to move back right now either. I'm just saying
honestly,
she is an.
The housing market is looking more attractive.
Okay. Okay.
Positive.
Too bad we don't have more time to talk about interest rates. Support the show, patreon.com/isthisgood. Send topics to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Rate us on Apple Podcasts. Subscribe on YouTube. Whew, take a deep breath. Thanks for listening. Thanks to Rachel and Jill for coming on. Rachel, you were amazing as always. Jill, thanks for sharing your maiden podcast voyage with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks in advance.
maid.
Okay, now stop talking. Thanks in advance for leaving a 5-star review for everyone. I'm Matt Austin, and this was good. Happy Valentine's Day!